I think Elijah Mitchell's got an uphill battle, frankly. I don't know if you saw this. David Lombardi and Matt Barrows have they do these breakdowns every year. They're awesome after the season. They go through every position group on the team and they really like dig in and give you some really cool numbers. And they did the running backs this week. And there was a line in there. Basically, it was like, don't lump in Ty Davis Price with Trey Sermon. The team is way higher. They speak way higher about Ty Davis Price than they did about Trey Sermon. And I think with Elijah Mitchell's injury problems, I wouldn't be shocked at all if TDP has a bigger role on the team next year.
A couple things. One, did you see, and I don't put a ton of weight into PFF, who the highest rated running back was if you eliminate snap count as a minimum snap count?
Yes, it was Jordan Mason, who had the
Yes.
most yards after average yards after contact of any running back in the league last year. If you right, he didn't get enough carries to qualify, but if you remove that, Jordan
Mm-hmm.
Mason was
Did you see his
number
pass
one.
blocking grade on that?
I did not.
It was in the 90s.
Ooh.
Yeah. So like I've said before, PFF, I don't put a lot of weight in. Oh, this guy ranked third. This guy ranked fifth. To me, was this guy good? Was this
Yeah,
guy mediocre? Was this
right.
guy bad? It means Jordan Mason was good, and then you have TDP on top of it. I will say that it would not shock me, although I think that would be considered the big shock of the offseason, if Eli Mitchell ends up in, say, Tennessee.
Rand Carthon was speaking glowingly of him at his press conference as
Let's say
Titans GM.
TDP, Jordan Mason show up. They've improved. The rookie part of it is gone. You think they can count on them? And I'm losing my voice again. I don't know what's going on. I've never lost my voice, by the way. Uh, but at that point, if they show up to training camp and they're good, pick up the phone. Hey, will you give us a fifth, a sixth?
I mean, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask for a 5th-round pick for Elijah Mitchell. You drafted him in the 6th, I think it was. So, I mean, you'd have to, again, they'd have to be willing to count on a guy that's banged up. But if it's Tennessee, you got Derrick Henry there. So you're not going to give the ball to Elijah Mitchell, 300 times a year. So maybe you're hoping that that's going to help with his health. And that would be a hell of a 1-2 combo for the Titans.
And we just heard their GM talk about what went into drafting Eli Mitchell because he was with the 49ers. So that GM's probably pretty high on him.
I would imagine so. That was a great story that Carthon told, by the way, where one of the staffers said, analytically, Elijah Mitchell looks like the best zone runner in this entire draft class, but they took it to Rand Carthon. He was like, "Can you watch the film and see if the numbers are backed up by what your eyes tell you?" And Carthon watched it and was like, "Yes, they do." So then they took it to Kyle Shanahan. And that was sort of the process, which is just an awesome behind the scenes thing. And of course, D'Amico Ryans was expecting a linebacker to be drafted in that spot. And then they were watching the film of Elijah Mitchell during the draft. And they were like, this guy's better. And they ended up taking Elijah Mitchell. And in a great find, by the way, shout out to Leo Luna, because on Twitter, he pointed out that no linebacker taken after Elijah Mitchell has a single sack or 30 career solo tackles. So they made the right choice taking Elijah Mitchell.
Yes, they did. And like I said, if they enter the season and they see enough from those other two to where Eli Mitchell is potentially being a third, fourth string, why not see what you can get?
I mean, they did it with oh my God, Jeff Wilson, right? They got Christian McCaffrey and they unloaded Jeff Wilson because they just didn't need him anymore. Good on the Niners. Like you mentioned earlier, the more draft picks you have, the better your chances are of hitting on them. So I would not be shocked at all if that happens.